of Sri Ma Sarda, the Holy Mother, the book that we were reading from, the guiding principle as she was, the guiding force behind the Ramakrishna order. The book is written by Swami Gambhirananda. The name of the book, Holy Mother Sri Sarda Devi. So today we will do as to how she helped the sannyasis and how she helped the householders as well. She knew exactly how to talk to the sannyasis and who would be given brahmacharya, who would be given sannyas. So she would accordingly pick up people, look at them, talk to them, and then give her advice. When the mother was at Jairambati, for the last time, a young man named Manasa got the ochre robe from her, and much elated thereby, he sat in the drawing room of Uncle Kali to sing sweetly some songs on Goddess Kali, songs which charmed Maku and Radhu, who sat by him, as also the Holy Mother and some of the aunts who heard from a distance. One of the aunts remarked, "Sister in law has turned that boy into a monk." And Maku joined, saying, "With what expectations the parents of this boy brought him up, and all these are now dashed to the ground. Marriage, too, is a virtuous act in this world. If aunt goes on making monks in this way, Mahamaya will become angry with her. If they want to take orders, let them do so by themselves. Why should aunt be instrumental in this?" After she had finished, the mother said, "Maku, they are all divine children. They will live on this earth as pure as flowers. What can be happier than that? Haven't you seen into the happiness of this world? I am getting my very bones scorched by the fierce ordeal of your family lives." Even though naturally inclined to a life of renunciation, the mother was very careful about granting sannyas. Since Swami Keshavananda was the only son of her mother, she did not at first consent to his renouncing the world. But when she was assured that he had his mother's approval, she gladly agreed. As the Swami suffered from asthma and was in bad health, his mother prayed to the Holy Mother before he embraced the monk's life that she might not have to see her son die before her. The mother granted the boon, which was duly fulfilled. In 1913, Brahmachari Devendra came to Jairambati from Benares and prayed for sannyas. The mother inquired about the condition of his family, and when she became satisfied that the family would not suffer by losing him, she permitted him to get the ochre robes from Koalpada and granted him sannyas on the next day. Again, when during her last illness at the Udbodhan, she was informed of the death of the father of a young man living with her, she inquired of him about his family affairs and said subsequently, "Can you understand why I asked you today to so much about your family and your mother? When I first got the news of your father's death from G, I asked him on whom else your mother could depend, whether she had sufficient provisions for her maintenance, and whether she could do without you. Having been told that she can manage even if she loses you, I thought within myself, good. As the boy has a noble intention, there wouldn't be any great hindrance to his continuing in the holy path." Once she had granted sannyas, after thorough inquiry, she was not to be severed from her decision by criticism, nay, not even by tears, for it was her conviction that one who renounced for God was really blessed. Soon after an aspirant had left Jairambati with ochre clothes granted by the mother, his mother and wife came there weeping for scurrying a cancellation and complaining that such indiscretion was going to ruin a family. But the mother firmly told them, he has not done any wrong. He has chosen the right path. And I have been told that he was provided for your maintenance. They were pacified by the mother's affection and persuasion and left Jairambati in a peaceful frame of mind. Instances are not rare when she set her face against sannyas. Once a woman disciple of hers wrote that her husband had been repeatedly telling her, "You go away with your children and live with your parents. I shall not live in the world any longer, but shall become a monk." Every line of the woman's letter was full of piteous wail and helpless cry for succor. Hearing the letter read, the mother said with some emotion, "Just see the impropriety of the thing. He will be a monk. Why did he marry? If you really want to give up, first make suitable arrangements for the subsistence of your dependents." Once there came two devout young men on the first day of the worship of Durga. They offered lotuses at the mother's feet and prayed for sannyasa. There was in their talk and demeanor an unnatural sentimentalism at which the mother smiled. And then they showed their eagerness for sannyas. She dissuaded them, saying, "That will come in due course, my boys." They went away disappointed. In her estimation, the ideal of sannyas was very high. About a monk, she said one day, "Why should he live with a householder just because he is ill? There are mutts and ashramas. A monk is a model of renunciation. If a wooden female doll should lie upturned on the road, a monk shall not so much as turn it with his feet to have a look at it. And it's extremely wrong for a monk to possess money. There's nothing that the round dice can't do, even to the extent of jeopardizing life." At times, she was strict with her own sons on these matters. Returning to Calcutta from Rameshwar, she made enquiries about a monk and was told that he has been pining to see her for the last 3 or 4 months. Instead of being flattered by this, she said with annoyance, "How strange! A monk should go beyond attachments. Even a golden chain is no less a fetter. A monk shouldn't become a victim of attachment. What's this that they talk so often of motherly love and complain? I haven't been I haven't been giving them any motherly love. What all that? To have the menfolk always move about me, well, I don't like all that. The frame, at least, is human. Consideration of divinity comes only after that." Ashu used to be always stirring about upstairs in connection with making sandal paste and such odd jobs. I reprimanded him. A man renounces the world in order to be freed from its worries, so that he may more fully adhere to God. Meditation of God is his bounden duty. A monk who had gone to Rishikesh, a well-known place for participating in austerities at the foothills of the Himalayas, wrote, "Mother, you said you will see the Master in time, but I have not been granted this up till now." On hearing the letter read, the mother said with annoyance, Do write to him. The Lord is not under any obligation to come forward to meet you just because you have gone to Rishikesh. He has become a monk. What will he do now except to call on God? God will reveal himself when he pleases. A monk had to be vigilant about his own dignity of demeanor. Brahmachari Girija went to Jairambati sometime in 1906. He was not yet a monk in the real sense of the term. Uncle Prasanna was then about to start for his second wedding ceremony and invited him to join the nuptial party. But the mother intervened and said, "He is a monk, he need not go." Next day at mealtime, at noon, the mother said to Girija, "My boy, shall I serve you curd?" Girija, out of natural modesty, said, "No, I don't need it." And the mother added approvingly, "Better not take this curd, since this is associated with marriage." Once, when there was a proposal for Swami Shantananda's going to Benares with a noted devotee of the master, the mother said, "You are a monk. The railway fare will be difficult for you to get. They are householders. Why should you go with them? You will be traveling in the same compartment. Who knows? They may say to you, 'Do this, do that.' You are a monk. Why should you be doing all that?" As the news of one of the disciples of the mother having changed his ochre robes for the white dress of a householder reached the mother, she said with disgust, "An earthen vessel can't hold a lioness' milk." By continuously eating food at the houses of worldly men, his mind has become polluted. By showing respect towards monks and monasticism, she made people respect them. Although she granted sannyas to almost all the Koalpada ashramas, she did not give the ochre robe to young Varada because he had to run errands for the mother and Radhu. When asking him to do certain things, the mother used to tell him now and then, "If you were the ochre garment, my son, could I order you to do these things? I would feel hesitant even if you touched my feet with your hands." As this meant delay of becoming a monk, the mother consoled him, saying, "You need have no anxiety at all. Afterwards, whenever you feel the hankering, you have merely to approach Sharat, that is Swami Shardananda, and he will arrange for it." For the same reason, the mother did not give sannyas to her boy attendant brahmachari Hari, later Hari Premananda. The mother was present at a birthday celebration of the master at Belur Math. After the midday meal, Brahmachari Rash Bihari poured water on her hands for cleaning them, and as it was her custom to wash the feet also on such occasions, the Brahmachari poured water on her feet and proceeded to clean them with his hands when the mother said, "No, no, my son, not you. You are worthy to be worshipped by gods." And she wiped her feet with her own hands. Rashbihari was then only a novice. On another occasion, the mother was at Udbodhan with Radhu. The latter had anklets that jingled as she walked fast. One day, as she descended quickly from the second floor to the first floor, the mother heard the sound of those anklets. And when Radhu came nearer, she said, "Radhi, are you devoid of shame? Down there live my Sanyasi sons, and you run about making your anklets jingle loud. What will they think? Do take off your anklets at once. These boys and girls that live here have not gathered here for the mere fun of it. They have come for spiritual practice and discipline. What will be the result if their discipline is undermined? Radhu took off her anklets and threw them away in a huff. Another day, after bath, Radhu was seen combing her hair and tastefully arranging the locks by pressing them with a towel. This too annoyed the mother, and she said so. The fact was that though she was the absolute mistress of the house, she looked to the spiritual needs of the monks for whose good she maintained all round and strictest vigilance. How much respect she had for these monks. This reverence for monks and anxiety for disciples were evident elsewhere as well. When she was at Koalpada with Radhu, she was dictating a list for the market to the Brahmachari Varta. A woman devotee happened to pass that way, and her cloth inadvertently brushed against the Brahmachari's back. The Brahmachari hardly noticed it, but the mother did and reproved the woman, saying, "How is this, my dear? Why do you walk about so carelessly? They are brahmacharis. They are to be honored. Bow down before him." Though the householders were as dear to her as the monks were in some sense more closely related to her. She used to say, "My boy, if the world renouncing ones were not there, with whom could I live?" One day, an elderly woman devotee had some altercations with some monks at the Udbodhan, as a result of which she left the house saying, "By no means shall I return so long as he is there." She defied all persuasions to retrace her steps. When the mother came to know of all this, she felt vexed and said, "What is she? A laywoman? If she wants to leave this place, let her do so. The monks live here after renouncing all for me." A monk asked the mother, "Mother, are not all equal who have taken refuge in the Master, irrespective of their being monks or householders, in as much as they will be all freed?" The mother answered, "Good gracious, can the monk and the householder be equal? The householders are a prey of passions and desire, while the monk have come away leaving everything behind. Whom else have these besides the Lord? Can they be compared with monks?" Though she revered the monks, she cautioned them against pride. When Arupananda said to her, "Mother, sannyas brings with it a great conceit," the mother collaborated him with the remark, "Yes, a great conceit. I haven't been saluted. I am not honored. I have not been treated with respect due to me. Compared with all that, I am much better, as, pointing to her white cloths, I am, that is, with internal renunciation." In fact, she valued inner detachment more than outer trappings. Brahmachari Sadhan, who took the ochre robe from her and then inquired about the formalities he would have to go through for becoming a monk. The mother told him slowly and solemnly, "Faith and firmness are basic things. If faith and firmness are there, then you have it all." But as the brahmachari was not satisfied with the answer, he reverted again and again to the question of ceremonies, till at last the mother was constrained to say, "Get those things done by my sons at the Belur Mutt." She didn't want to do it. It strikes us, though, the mother drew a line between the wearing of a ochre cloth as a help to spiritual discipline and as a reminder of a new path voluntarily chosen, and the renunciation of everything after formally performing the Virija home, the scriptural sacrifice preceding lifelong monasticism. A clerk in Bihar Secretariat felt disgusted with the world and came to the mother for the ochre robe. The mother, having granted his wish, he retired to the Himalayas for austerity. As the other monks there advised him to perform the Virija home, he sought the opinion of the mother, who wrote in reply, I did not permit you to perform the Virija Homa as it is a difficult matter. The mother perhaps saw the inmost heart of this devotee, for he returned home after a long time. In some cases, again, she did not sanction sannyas but sent the candidates to other sannyasis. In 1911, Surendra Vijay, to the mother, visited to the mother at the Udbodhan and requested her, Mother, this boy is accompanying me to Madras. Will you kindly initiate him into sannyas? The mother asked, Let Sharad do it. But Swami Shardananda replied, I can't know anybody's mind I can't know anybody's mind. Will you kindly initiate him into sannyas? The mother answered, Let's Shardanand do it. Shardanand says, I don't know, I can't read anybody's mind. And as for sannyas and such things, it is for Maharaj, Swami Brahmanand, to grant it or not. Then the mother said, Then let him have it at Puri from Rakhal. Perhaps in this case also the mother knew the young man's mind, for he returned home soon after. When Swami Jagadananda approached her for sannyas, she gave him the ochre cloth after touching it with the master's feet and her own head. And then she said, I am giving you the ochre cloth, but have the Virija home done under Rakhal's guidance at the Belur Mutt and get the sannyas name from him. Her attitude to brahmacharya, the vows of celibacy, was unique. She helped many in this path. There was nothing of formality here. There was only the compassionate approval of the Guru, coupled with the resolution of the disciples, born of their unsavouring faith and irrepressible longing. They might not belong to the order, though many of those initiated thus entered the Ramakrishna order in due course. We give here a single illustration. In 1916, Surendranath Gupta went to Jairam Bati and then to Kamarpukur with Brahmachari Gopesh. In course of a talk, Surendranath came to learn that Gopesh was initiated into Brahmacharya by mother, and Surendranath was then the government office service. But he was full of dispassion. Naturally, therefore, he was attracted towards Brahmacharya, and purchasing a new piece of cloth at Kamarpukur, he returned to the mother to get initiation into Brahmacharya. The mother inquired about his dependents and then showed the new piece of cloth to the master and handed it over to Brahmachari Jnana, saying, You form it into the outer and inner garbs. When Surendranath proposed to resign from his post, the mother advised him to continue for some time more in service, pointing out that it was good to help the Lord's devotion and devotees with a portion of one's income. He obeyed this direction for some time and then repeated this request. The mother did not consent even then. At last, after the mother's passing away, he freed himself completely from his domestic obligations and embraced the monastic life under the name Swami Sasangananda. As in case of men, so also in case of devout woman seekers. The mother was of the opinion that if there were suitable arrangements for sustenance and protection, they too might lead a celibate life. When the daughter of Narayan Iyengar of Mysore wanted to take up the vows of celibacy, the mother asked Swami Shardananda to write a letter to that effect to Sri Iyengar. On another occasion, when a girl refused to marry, her mother approached Holy Mother to persuade the girl to obey her parents. But the mother said, "Is it a small misery to be a slave to another and to pander to his whims for a whole lifetime?" And then she explained that though a celibate life had its own risk, it was improper to force any girl into wedlock against her will. So we see here how she helped the sannyasis and how she guided the householders. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Stay tuned and do share, like, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for joining us. Namaskar. We'll be back again with another episode soon.